Hi everyone, my name is Tiana Alisjahbana and I am from 70 Senior High School, Jakarta. Today, we will be diving deeper into the topic of explanation text. Okay, let's start. First of all, it's really important for us to know what an explanation text really is. Well, an explanation text is a text which tells processes relating to forming of natural, social, scientific, and cultural phenomena. An explanation text is to say why and how of the forming of the phenomena. It is often found in science, geography, and history textbooks. Okay, but what is the purpose of an explanation text? Well, the purpose of an explanation text is to explain the processes of forming an event or phenomenon in sequence. You get that? Okay, now let's move on to the generic structure of an explanation text. To start off, we have the general statement, which states the phenomenon issues which are to be explained. Second, we have the sequence explanation, which states a series of steps which explain the phenomenon. And last but not least, we have the interpretation, which contains the conclusion about the topic that has been explained. But remember, this is optional. Moving on, it's really important for us to know the language features of an explanation text, especially when you're about to write one. First up, an explanation text features generic participant. In other words, it focuses more on the general, not human participants. For example, earthquake, flood, rain, and air. Secondly, it is important that an explanation text uses chronological connection. Some examples are to begin with, next, before, first, and then. Thirdly, an explanation text uses passive voice pattern. What is that? Well, an passive voice pattern is used when the focus is on the action. It is not important or not known, however, who or what is performing the action. Here's some example. My bike was stolen. A mistake was made. As we can see from these sentences, we do not know, however, who stole the bike and who made the mistake. Moving on, the next language features is an explanation text uses simple present tense. A simple present tense is also called present simple or present indefinite, is a verb tense which is used to show repetition, habit, or generalization. Here are some examples. Okay, moving on, an explanation text uses an abstract noun, also known as no visible noun. What is that? An abstract noun are a type of noun that you can't see or touch. An abstract noun may include an aspect, concept, idea, experience, state of being, trait, quality, feeling, or other entity that can be experienced with the five senses. Here are some examples. Other than that, explanation text uses action verbs. Well, this is something we all know already. And action verbs are verbs that specifically describe what the subject of the sentence is doing. Last but not least, an explanation text uses scientific terms. Scientific terms or terminology is the part of the language that is used by scientists in the context of professional activities. To be more clear, let's look at some examples of an explanation text. The first example is, how does rain happen? We all know that rain is the main source of fresh water for most regions of the world, providing suitable conditions for diverse ecosystem. Rain is water that falls from the sky through several processes until the rain occurs. Do you know how it rains? The phenomenon of rain is actually a circle of water. The concept of a circle of water includes the sun, which heats the surface of the earth and causes its surface to evaporate. Earth water includes water from lakes, river, and oceans. Then, water vapor condenses and becomes condensation vapor. The condensed steam is formed from droplets so that when the air temperature is higher, it makes the droplets gather, condense, and form into clouds. The presence of wind helps cloud move and gather in other places that have lower temperatures. At that time, the drops become heavier and unstoppable and cause the drops to fall so that there is rain. If the drop falls in a very cold temperature, it drops like snow. However, not all rain reaches the surface. Some evaporate when falling through dry water. This is called virga, a phenomenon that is often seen in hot and dry desert regions. After reading this text, we can conclude that the general statement is in paragraph 1, the sequence explanation is in paragraph 2, and the interpretation is in paragraph 3. Other than that, we can conclude that there are several language features that are used in this text. 1. Simple present tense. We can see that most of the sentences are used in simple present tense. Some examples are water vapor condenses and becomes condensation vapor, and it drops like snow. 2. Action verbs. Some examples that are taken from this text is drops, falls, and condense. 3. Passive voice. A sentence example from this text is some evaporate when falling through dry water. 4. Chronological connection. Some examples are then and at that time. 5. Scientific terms. Several scientific terms that are taken from this text is evaporation, condensation, and virga. Okay, now let's move on to the second example. The title of this explanation text is Why Summer Daylight is Longer Than Winter Daylight. But this time, why don't you try to find out what the generic structure is and what language features are used in this explanation text. So, did you find it yet? If you haven't, feel free to pause this video, because after this I will be showing you what the generic structure of this explanation text is and what language features are used in this explanation text. Okay, here it is. Remember that the interpretation is optional. This is why there is no interpretation in this text. Yay! This is the end of the video. I hope this video is helpful for those who are trying to learn about explanation text. Keep studying and learning. Bye!